Hey folks, it's Finn. I'm checking in with a mental health update again. And I want to talk about noticing how my mental health challenges have changed and how I hadn't noticed. Rather than having a period of low mood, I've noticed that actually what's going on is I'm having mood cycling. I'm going between 3 days to 7 days where, although I'm still feeling the burden of everything that's going on with my own physical health and what's happened with mum, I'm more able to still function within that as long as it's balanced and cope with life and feel positive about the future. And then all of a sudden, I am crashing into such a low mood that all I can do is lie down. Even sitting up feels impossible. My body just wants to be lying down. That's the only place where I actually feel any peace. And I just have to get myself to bed. And in that state, I can't even pick up my phone. I can't go on the internet. I mean, when I'm low, one of my favourite things to do on a self-care day is to sit there with my laptop and talk to people on Facebook, so at least I'm still getting into some interaction. But on these new really low moods, I can't even pick up my laptop. Sometimes I'm led there and I can see things just out of my reach and I cannot physically lift my arm. The most I can do is crawl out of bed, make myself some kind of junk food, go to the toilet and go back to bed. And that then lasts from anything from 3 days to a week, and then I gradually come up again. And I hadn't noticed that this was going on. It's so easy when you're used to seeing something a certain way to get fixed on seeing it a certain way and dealing with it in a certain way. And this is what I've been doing with my mental health. I used to have mood cycles like this back before I got clean and sober 7 years ago. And I honestly thought, because in the last 7 years my mental health hasn't presented in that way, that a lot of that was brought on by drugs and alcohol. Usually my mental health presents in a way that my mood gets low. So then I know I have to put things in place, simplify my life, put all my mental health tools in place, and then just wait for it to pass and come up again. I can deal with that, as unpleasant as it is. I've learnt over the last 7 years to manage my life around that, and that's fine. But this is a completely different beast. And now I've realised that, I realise that everything I'm doing is not helping at all. For one, even though I'm honest with people, I've realised I've gone into a pattern of not being honest. Because when I'm very low, I can't connect with people on Facebook, and because I worry people because I go quiet, I'm then replying when I'm starting to feel better again, and I say, oh, I've just been really low, but I'm feeling okay again. And then I'll be all right for that few days to a week, and then I'll crash again, and people will worry and message me, and I'll say, oh, I've been down again. And it's setting up this kind of feeling of shame and failure where I think, oh, I was getting better, and now I'm not. So it's stopping me from actually messaging somebody and saying, I'm crashing, I don't feel right. So this week, because I'm quite honest on here anyway, but on my own personal Facebook this week, I was very honest about that and said, look, actually this is what's happening at the moment. I keep crashing and that's why I'm disappearing, and I'm really sorry, and I'm trying to get honest about that. I'm sorry for worrying you, because I need to get out of the head state of thinking I'm failing. Because of me being so used to having a period of low and then recovery, because I'm having a period of low, recovery and then low again, I'm just subconsciously seeing that as a failure. But if I see it as a whole entity, that my depression this time, rather than presenting as a line of lowness, is a cycle of up and downness, then it's not that I'm not getting well, it's that I'm not well yet because I'm in this mood cycle. Getting well will be not being in this mood cycle, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? I don't know. This is a pretty new realisation, and in doing this vlog, actually, I'm not making sense of a lot of this yet. But I do this kind of sharing because it helps me to make sense of it, and people always say helpful stuff that helps me to make sense of it. So, I deal with my mental health over the last 7 years when I by having a strict routine every day. Actually, I do something that sounds contradictory. I do a strict routine with a one day at a time approach. Does sound a bit contradictory. So I will have a schedule for the week. And even though I'm not in paid work, I act as if I am. So my alarm will be set for 7:30. I'll get up. I'll do my morning routine. If I'm in volunteer work, I'll go to that. Or I'll set tasks to do at home, so that it gives you a sense of routine and well-being. Because to have self-esteem, you have to do self-esteemable things. So in this routine, on every day when I get up, after I've meditated, I assess how I feel. If it's a good day, then I will go ahead with the schedule that I have planned for that day. If it's not a good day, then I'll put things in place, like simplifying that day, having a self-care day. And that has worked for me. And so I've been trying to do that this time around, having this set schedule. But what's happening is, I'm managing that schedule for 2 or 3 days. And then on the remaining days, I'm still dragging myself out of bed, forcing myself up at 7:30 and trying to do this stuff. And I can't do it. And that's just making me feel worse. My sleep is all over the place, which isn't helping. And that's partly the mood and partly health issues that's going on. So I think right now, rather than a strict routine, I just need to let go. I need to just let myself wake up. When I'm feeling okay, I tend to naturally wake up somewhere between 7 and 8 anyway. So I think if I trust my own body, on days where I'm okay, I will wake up early, and days where I'm not, I won't. And then maybe, rather than forcing my body into a pattern, I'll just be able to find my own way. I don't know. I mean, this is all trial and error now. This is my first week now of actually trying a new approach with this. So I don't know. I'm just going to have to try new things for now. And I'm going to have to try and see if I can plan ahead. If I know these crashes happen on this kind of 3 to 5 days crash, 3 to 5 days crash, then on the days where I'm up, being much more balanced about what I do. I mean, I'm pretty balanced anyway. I don't pack so much in, but maybe I need to spread out even further to maybe prevent the crash or to help the crash be less long. I don't know. I went to see the doctor yesterday. She increased my sertraline medication 3 months back, and we talked about what's going on now, and she suggested a few things, one of which was going on a different antidepressant called metazapine, but it has a sedative effect, and I can't have that really. Anything that's got like a sedative type thing, it's too much for me, having an addictive history. And also, that's not going to help me on the times where I'm really low. I can't stay awake, and if I'm taking a medication that's making me sleepy, then that's just going to be worse. So for now, we're going to try upping the sertraline again, and this doesn't make me particularly happy. This is something I still struggle with, but the fact is, medication does work, and it works even better when it's used in conjunction with other things. And if it brings my mood up enough that I'm not having such awful crashes, then I'll be able to take better care of myself than I currently am. I am having support. I am going to this Wellbeing Recovery Action Planning group every week. I told you about that. I will update. I want to do a specific vlog on that because it's so good. I was doing the wrap for carers, and the ladies that run it are so lovely. They're now doing a wrap for mental health, and they said just come to it if you want. So I'm doing the same course all over again with a different focus. So that's really helpful because that's 3 hours on a Tuesday. So that's something to focus on, and it's support. And I'm also having counselling on a Wednesday morning. So I do have support in place. I'm doing everything I can, so please don't worry about me. I just wanted to be very, very honest about where I am, because for some reason, in this constant okayness and not okayness, I'm harbouring a lot of shame, and I'm not quite sure why. And that's not helpful. And being honest on here and to my friends is going to make it easier as well, because then I can still plan to do stuff, and then if at the last minute I'm like, wow, I'm actually not able to do this, I can cancel and people can be understanding. Because the way I was dealing with it before, keeping it very quiet, the whole crashing thing, people didn't know, so I wasn't planning stuff with people for fear of letting people down. So now I've been honest, that might help a bit more. I do find all this a bit scary. I've not had mental health issues that I don't understand for a long time, and that's quite unnerving. But as somebody pointed out to me, I've had a lot go on. I mean, it's not just one thing, is it? There's a lot. It's just been a whole year of issues, from surgery going wrong last year, Blake dying, me just starting to pull myself out of that really low patch, going through some huge self-growth stuff around relationships and sexual identity, and then my mum getting so poorly and me having to travel constantly between Devon and East Sussex when she was being hospitalised, and then make the decision that it's much more sensible for me to live in Eastbourne and then move, and then have to pack up mum's flat because she has to move into a nursing home, get the diagnosis of dementia, my lower surgery stuff's going on, I've got carpal tunnel syndrome, I'm up all night weeing, my physical health is just really poor. It's no wonder that everything is kind of really crashing and coming to this massive head, but at the same time it's really unnerving to be in this position. But there is power in awareness, so very much power in self-awareness. I was talking to a friend the other day about accepting our current reality, and now that I can clearly see the current reality, I'm so glad I did the Mood app and noticed this, because now I realise, oh, okay, my depression reality was this way at one point, but actually now it's this way. And now that I know that, I can better understand myself, better explain myself, get better support for myself, and put better coping strategies in place for myself. So I know you don't ask for it, you never do, and I really appreciate that, but I do want to say sorry, because vlogging on here, talking to people on all my other social media sites, Instagram, Twitter, the Facebook page, is really important to me. I love giving support. I love the kind of two-way exchange that happens, that when I share, people say things that help me, and then when people ask me for help and support, I say things to them, which then in turn also help me. I love this thing that we have together. And the last thing I want is to kind of make you worry or make you feel I've abandoned you. I can promise you now, I am never going to stop doing this. But at the moment, it's impossible for me to stick to any kind of schedule with it. I have really loads of ideas. When I'm on my up stage, I think of really lots of lovely things I'd like to vlog about. And then by the time I get around to doing it, I've crashed and I can't get out of bed, let alone pick up a camera. So I will be vlogging, but it's going to probably be sporadic. I'm going to be answering your emails and messages, but it's going to be sporadic again. You know, if I do give you a really short reply, it's only because I'm just not capable right now. But all your messages mean the world, and I tell you what, the most helpful messages I'm getting right now are the really simple ones where I just get a gif, a silly gif of a sheep or something, you know, and it just lets me know that you're thinking of me, and that means the world. It will pass. I have 7 years of evidence of things passing. You know, I used to really panic when this sort of thing happened, and I'm scared, but I'm not panicking. I know it will pass. Can't deny that I want it to pass now, but that's not acceptance, is it? Acceptance is, this is how it is now. Faith is knowing it will pass at some point, and acceptance is, this is how it is now. And if I accept how it is now, rather than trying to wish it away, I can more better deal with it. So yeah. Hope some of that made sense. Lovely to catch up with you. Love to you all. Speak soon.